The Driver, your source for the latest car news and reviews.
We're at the 2018 Canadian International Auto Show, checking out the all-new Volkswagen Arteon. This is an all-new vehicle for Volkswagen in the Canadian market, and as you can see, it's actually really sporty looking. It might be a replacement for the Volkswagen Passat CC, which is not sold anymore, but its dimensions seem similar to it. The Arteon's dimensions seem similar to it. This one's equipped with 20-inch wheels, and as we get to the front, the headlights look really cool. As you can see, this one has projection beam headlamps with 3 LED elements that run along the bottom and the sides. Pretty unique, and you would probably be able to tell very distinctly that this was a Volkswagen Arteon. And you have a secondary, what might be a high beam or another headlight cluster in there, and that seems to be similar to this one over here. Very unique looking headlights, and you have coupled to that an LED strip that runs below each headlight, as well as a secondary headlight or a high beam cluster as well. The grille is chrome but has black that runs inside, but I love how the LEDs run into the grille. You know, you have this line over here that runs into the chrome of the grille, and this line that runs into the top line of the grille. This one is the Elegance trim. And as we've seen in the new Jetta, we have a sunroof that pops out, kind of giving it a nice convertible-like appearance. I remember seeing it on the Lincoln MKZ, and I thought it looked really good. So it's nice to see that Volkswagen's adopting this as well. Usually sunroofs, as you know, slide into the roof. But because this one's slightly larger and doesn't have the dimensions to do that, it has to slide along the top, but it looks really good. As we step inside, it's actually very luxurious in here. The seats are of a suede finish, but they have leather along the sides. And you have this cool print that runs along the dashboard. An analog clock, parking sensors, what might be park assist, and the touchscreen has a nice glossy finish. And you'll notice that as I move my finger closer, it pops up because it has a proximity sensor somewhere along here. Here you have the engine start stop, auto off, which basically turns off the engine when you come to complete stop, auto hold, which basically keeps the car still when you push on the brake at a signal or an intersection. It keeps the car still so it doesn't start moving forward, regardless of whether you have the brake pedal pushed or not. Here you have the cup holders, fairly large and decently sized. And the compartment's not that deep or large at all. I'm actually kind of surprised. 12-volt outlet. Let's see how we can play around with the screen. So over here, let's press apps. You need to connect a device in order to be able to do that. The navigation database is not available, probably because it doesn't have an SD card or whatever it takes to get the navigation started. Here you have your fuel consumption and long-term, since refueling, all this is fuel economy data. And here's the voice control commands that you can say. Has a nice piano black finish, although it is slightly more reflective than I thought it would be. Over here we have the gauge cluster. As you can see, it's all digital, and it's actually really nicely lit and has a very good contrast to it, allowing you to clearly decipher in any lighting condition what speed you're going at or what your RPMs are, aside from other important information. Here you have the window controls for the power windows. As you can see, the sunroof is slightly larger than the traditional sunroof, but it's by no means as large as it looks when you're outside. When you're outside, it's more of an aesthetical appearance thing, where you have a nice large sunroof covered by that black plate, but inside it's actually just slightly larger than the average sunroof. As we get to the back, it's actually really spacious back here as well. You have a lot of legroom because this is comparable to a full-size sedan, as it was replacing the Passat CC. Here you have heated seats and what might be automatic climate control buttons to control the rear ventilation. You have dome LED lights, and the armrest is fairly large and features 2 cup holders. You have ski pass-through over here. And here you have a 12-volt outlet, a USB outlet, as well as a 150-watt power switch, or sorry, a power outlet. As we get to the back, you'll notice how much space you have because of the fastback design of the Arteon, and that reflects on the space you have in the trunk. It's really large. It's almost as if you were driving a station wagon that's slightly has a slightly lower roofline, but as you can see horizontally, it's fairly large. I'm sure with the seats folded down, the rear seats folded down, you would have a lot more space. But I'm actually surprised by the space you have back here. Here you have a compartment for storing liquids or windshield water fluids, etc. And I believe this one comes off to provide you with even more space. As you can see, it's a power trunk, and that reveals the beauty of the car from the back. As you can see, you have 2 LED stripes that run horizontally, as well as some LED elements in here. This might be the indicator or the turn signals, and this might be the reverse lights. Beautiful Arteon text just below the Volkswagen grille. Very cool looking. This has been a look at the all-new Volkswagen Arteon at the Canadian International Auto Show.
For the latest car news and reviews, go to www.thedriver.ca